Ah, icLAAo. I can't lose. No reality where I lose. Ever. There's no reality or universe where I lose because I choose that to be. When I go to my next reality, I'ma still be winning. In my past reality, I was winning. There's no reality where I lose. Ever. This is gonna be a very, very quick video. I'm running late to somewhere, so I'm gonna make this quick, but it's very, very important as well. The reason that you will never be successful is because you can never have conviction. The number one thing you need in life to be successful, to get what you want, is conviction. What is conviction? Conviction is essentially ultimate levels of confidence that you know what you say is going to happen is going to happen. If you're about to go do a sports composition and you say, I am going to win, I know I'm going to win. That is you having a high level of conviction. And you will most likely win because you have conviction. How do you get conviction? Conviction comes from confidence. You need to have a high level of confidence for it to turn into conviction. How do you get confidence? Now, this is the secret. You get confidence by constantly putting yourself in a state where you're feeling positive emotions about yourself. That is the secret. You want me to say that again? The secret to getting confidence, which leads to conviction, which leads to getting what you want out of your life, is to be constantly putting yourself in a position to feel positive emotions about yourself. That is the secret to life right there. I'm telling you, that's it. Because when you put yourself in a position where you're constantly feeling positive about yourself, it raises your level of self-esteem. When your self-esteem raises, your confidence level raises. And like we just said, when you have high levels of confidence, it turns into conviction. And conviction is what gets you what you want out of life. Now, what do I mean when I say put yourself in a consistent state of feeling positive emotions? Do anything you can to make yourself feel positive emotions. Let's talk about the opposite. Most people in life are constantly putting themselves in a position where they feel negative emotions toward themselves, and that's why most people in life will never be confident and it will never turn to conviction. Let me give you an example. Most people in life are eating bullshit food every single day. Most people in life are doing degeneracy, doing drugs, masturbation, sex, whatever it is. All these things that you're doing are putting yourself in a negative emotional mind state. Imagine what you're feeling after you just ate that bullshit food that you told yourself that you weren't going to do. How do you feel about yourself? You feel bad. You're feeling negative emotions. Why? Because you put yourself in a position to feel those emotions when you didn't do what you said you were going to do to yourself. How do you feel after you watch porn? You feel terrible. Why? Because you put yourself in a position that you watched it and now you feel terrible. How do you feel when you let people walk all over you, for example? You feel terrible because you put yourself in that position to feel terrible by letting people walk all over you. People are constantly putting themselves in negative emotional mind states, and that's why they will never feel good about themselves. And because they will never feel good about themselves, they will never have confidence. And because they will never have confidence, they will never have conviction. And without conviction, you will never get what you want out of life. That is a fact. So how do you put yourself in those positive emotional mind states? You do the opposite. The best way to put yourself in a positive emotional mind state about yourself is by having self-discipline and doing what you say you're supposed to do and not doing what you're not supposed to do. Think about how you feel after a really good workout. You feel good about yourself. You feel positive. Think about how you feel after you got that job you've been wanting to get. You feel positive. Think about how you feel after you eat healthy and you don't eat that candy bar. You feel positive. When you're constantly putting yourself in these positions to where you're feeling positive emotions, it builds self-esteem. Because why? I didn't eat that cake. I was stronger than it. I didn't eat that pizza. I was stronger than it. I didn't watch porn. I told myself I wasn't going to do it and I didn't do it. It's been 90 days. I didn't watch porn. I feel good about myself now. When you do all these things that will give you positive emotions, maybe you buy yourself a nice pair of clothes and you feel good just wearing it. It's different for everybody. Not the same things don't give everybody the same amount of emotions. The concept remains the same. You need to put yourself in a position where you're feeling positive emotions about yourself. And you need to remove yourself from situations where you're feeling negative emotions about yourself. This could be people as well. A lot of people hang around with people that put them in positions to feel negative emotions about themselves. Whether you hang around people that speak negatively, they just have negative mindsets. Whether you hang around people that are berating you, making you feel bad as a person, that is part of it as well. People around me have to make me feel like I'm a god, I'm a king. That's how I feel about myself. And if you don't make me feel like that, I can't be around you, because you're going to lower my self-esteem, you're going to lower my confidence, and ultimately you're going to lower my conviction. Everything around me makes me feel like a boss, make me feel like a god, make me feel like a goat. That's why I get what I want. That's why I'm confident. In my room, I have posters of all the great people I admire, that I want to be like. I have a quote that I wrote to myself. So every morning I wake up, what does it say? Stay humble, stay patient. Remain humble, remain patient, it gets great later. I actually forgot what the quote is. But I have things around my area, my space, that constantly remind me that I'm a GOAT, that I'm a god, that I'm the best, that I can't lose. Damn, I just spit. I'm getting hyped up in this video. This is a fact. You need to put yourself in a position where you just are feeling good about yourself. Long story short. I have confidence, I have conviction, because I put myself in positions to feel good about myself. And I don't put myself in positions where I'm going to feel bad about myself. Of course, at times, we're all going to slip up. We're human. We're not perfect. But you need to immediately put yourself back in a position where you feel good about yourself. That is the secret to life. If you're constantly feeling positive emotions about yourself, it's going to turn into high self-esteem. And when it turns into high self-esteem, it's going to turn into self-confidence. And when it turns into self-confidence, it's going to turn into conviction. And if you have conviction about what you want in life, you are going to get it. So what's the long story short? Stop putting yourself in positions where you are feeling bad, negative emotions about yourself. It's that simple. You need to curate your reality. You need to curate your circle. You need to curate your life. So everywhere you go, everyone you talk to, it's only making you feel good about yourself. Once you do that, you will win in life. That is the secret. You need to make yourself feel good. You need to put yourself in a position to feel positive emotions about yourself constantly. If you do that, you will win in life. icLAAo, I can't lose. There's no reality where I lose, bro. It doesn't happen ever.